to our distinguished observers and development partners and your excellencies present here, in your various roles you have played in supporting the Electoral Commission to see us today and in the manner in which we look. And want to thank the Lord for that, for your support. I want to most sincerely thank the Electoral Commission staff for their commitment to deliver. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to say we are fulfilling what the Constitution demands of us in the 48 hours. We are now here and would like to thank you most sincerely. With those few words, I would like to take the honor to introduce and invite Lord Chair Justice Byabaka Mamugeni Simon to address the distinguished guests, address the country, address the world over the presidential elections that took place on Thursday this week. Lord Chair, you're welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon, our distinguished guests in your respective capacities. Permit me to omit the protocol aspect due to time constraints. On behalf of the Electoral Commission, I wish to welcome you to this National Elections Results Tally Center, and particularly to the final declaration results of the presidential elections 2021. First of all, the Commission wishes to congratulate the people of Uganda upon the successful conduct of the presidential and parliamentary elections that took place on the 14th of this month. We are glad to note that the elections have been held and concluded as scheduled in accordance with the roadmap we issued in December 2018. The Commission salutes the resilience and determination of the Ugandans to overcome the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and meet the requirements of the Constitution. This country. We further express gratitude to our staff and all the election officials and all stakeholders, especially the security agencies, the National COVID-19 Task Force, and the Interagency Cooperation through the National Organizing Committee, who provided the necessary support at the various levels towards the successful conclusion of these elections. Further, the Commission wishes to thank all the candidates that offered themselves for both the presidential and parliamentary elections, and wishes to congratulate the successful candidates in these elections. We also appeal to other participating candidates and their supporters to remain calm and accept the outcome of these elections. Finally, the Electoral Commission appreciates the government of Uganda for fulfilling its duty to finance the election budget. The Commission wishes to remind all Ugandans, and especially the victorious one, the candidates and their supporters, to be mindful of the existing COVID-19 pandemic and continue observing the standard operating procedures as they celebrate their victory in the elections. The Commission is now pleased to proceed to declare the results of the presidential elections in accordance with Section 57 of the Presidential Elections Act and undertakes to share the detailed results with all stakeholders. For God and my country, I thank you. Declaration of the presidential elections results. Under Article 103, Clause 7 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda and Section 57 of the Presidential Elections Act. Whereas a presidential election was held on the 14th day of January 2021, at which the candidates were Amuriat Bobi Patrick, Kavuleta Kiza Joseph, Kalembe Nancy Linda, Katumba John, Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert, Mao Norbert, Mayambala Willie, Mugisha Muntu Greg, Mwesige Fred, Tumukunde Henry Kakurugu, and Yoweri Museveni Tubuhaburwa Kaguta. And whereas polling for the presidential elections closed at 4 p.m. on the 14th of January 2021, and whereas the Electoral Commission has ascertained the results of the presidential elections, an exercise of the powers conferred on the Electoral Commission by Article 103, Clause 7 of the Constitution and Section 57 of the Presidential Elections Act, the Commission publishes and declares the results of the presidential elections as follows. Total number of valid votes cast for candidates, 9,978,093. Scores by each candidate. Amuriat Bobi Patrick, 323,536 valid votes polled by the said candidate, which represents a percentage of 3.24% of the votes. Kavuleta Kiza Joseph, 44,300, which represents 0.44%. Kalembe Cylinder 36.9. Katumba John 30,983, representing 0.36%. Kyagulanyi Sentamu Robert 3,475,298. 3,475,298. representing 34.83%. Mao Norbert 55,665, representing 0.56%. Mayambala Willie 14,657, presenting 0.15%. Mugisha Muntu Greg 65,334, representing 0.65%. Mwesige Fred 24,673, representing 0.25%. Tumukunde Henry Kakurugu 50,141, representing 0.50%. Yoweri Museveni Tubuhaburwa Kaguta 5,851,037, representing 58.64%. Total number of invalid votes 381,386, amounting to 3.68% of the total number of votes cast. The total number of votes cast 10,359,479, amounting to 57.22% of the total number of registered voters. Now, therefore, candidate Yoweri Museveni Tibuhaburwa Kaguta, having obtained the highest number of votes in the election, and the votes cast in his favor being more than 50% of the valid votes cast at the election, the Electoral Commission declares Yoweri Museveni Tibuhaburwa Kaguta elected President of the Republic of Uganda at the presidential election held on the 14th day of January 2021, dated this 16th day of January 2021.
The members of the commission now proceed to append their signatures to the results of the election. So that the process is completed, there is agreement, the results that are published as the true results of the elections of 2021 presidential elections. And before us we have the official seal of the commission, which will be appended to the document by the Secretary Electoral Commission to confirm, in accordance with Article 57 of the Constitution,
page 1 as well,
which says the Commission will ascertain and publish under its seal the results of the elections. And I think that's what you see, the signing, and then the sealing, and then the declaration of the results that has been made. It goes out now that Uganda has an elected president, a president-elect. The copies of these results and the detailed results are going to be loaded on the website, and they've already been sent out to presidential candidates and the political parties which participated in this election. So the processes that are going on now are open to all in accordance with the law about declaration of results and transmission of results. So once again, we congratulate the people of Uganda on having come out to participate in this election and continue to send out the message that has come out throughout this electoral campaign that let's keep the peace, let's accept the result and the decision of the people, our neighbors, our communities. The way they have voted could be different from you, but we remain one community, we remain one people, the people of Uganda. And we need to work together to keep the peace, the harmony in our communities, and to continue working together for the good of our country. Uganda that we all cherish so much. Let's keep it safe, let's keep it peaceful, and then persons, as well as the youth, and elections on the 29th for the UPDF. So if you're out there and the race, the elections are still on, the standard operating procedures still apply. Even as we go out, like the chairperson said, full of joy, celebrating the victory of our candidates, let's be mindful that we need to take care because we still have a common enemy called COVID-19. So the standard operating procedures still apply concerning how we gather, how we behave when we go out of our homes. Now proceed to place the seal of the commission in accordance with section 57 of the Presidential Elections Act, which says the commission shall publish, declare results under its seal. And this is what makes the commission the final authority on the results, because no one else has the seal that the law prescribes for purposes of declaration of the elections. So this is a special assignment and mandate that is given to the commission, and now we are witnessing the placement of the seal onto the results. Now those become results of the elections with the signatures, the seal, and an official document, letterheads, that can now be quoted and cited as authority concerning the conclusion of the presidential elections that we held on Thursday. Once again, we congratulate the people of Uganda on participating in the elections at presidential and parliamentary level, and still send out a reminder, we still have elections that are going on. Even starting tomorrow, delegates conference for election of representatives of special interest groups, workers meeting at Chibuli Senior Secondary School for their elections, and older persons meeting at regional venues as laid out in the program that we released for purpose of election of the representatives to Parliament. So Parliament is not yet full. There are still positions that have to be filled. So members of the Electoral College are advised and reminded to move, if they have not moved by now, to their respective places where they will have their elections from. Elections of representatives of persons with disabilities to be held at Jinja Civil Service College in Jinja City, and remind those who presented themselves as candidates and members of the Electoral College to proceed to that venue for purposes of the elections. The youth have their elections coming up, regional youth conferences on the 31st of January and the 1st of February. We appeal to the young people to participate in the election, the members of the Electoral College to turn up for that. UPDF is represented in Parliament, and the election will be held on the 29th of January at Bombo, Land Force Headquarters. I think that's what they call it, Bombo. And that one will be an exercise that will lead to election of the 10 representatives of the UPDF to Parliament. We have other elections coming up next week for district local governments, chairpersons and mayors and their councillors, and elections coming up on Wednesday on the 20th across the country. So we still have elections that will be going on across the country to have district local governments also elect their leaders. On the 3rd of February, we'll have under our roadmap the last set of elections for chairpersons and councillors for sub-counties, town councils, and municipal divisions.
Here in Chambogo by the Electoral Commission, where we have gotten the results for the presidential elections that we had this very week on the 14th of January 2021, another day written in the books of Uganda's history. Just to repeat a little bit of the results, Yoweri Museveni Kaguta has garnered 5,851,037 votes.
Okay, twagala okukulisaayo ekyambogo ku National Tally Center. Ebintu nga bwe bivuddeyo abasobola okusoma omulamu oguli wansi awo ku telefayinayo osobola okugulaba obulungi nti General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni alangiriddwa ng'omuwanguzi era nga